Siobhan.
And she, they, just like me.
For real.
Hey, girl.
How you doing, girl?
I am doing okay. I'm on the mend, as we'll probably talk about here briefly. And how are you doing?
I'm certainly not suffering from COVID-19 or anything, but I'm still trying to quit nicotine. There's like a lot of, if you follow me on Twitter, there's a lot going on in my personal life right now. But beyond that, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. Everything's wonderful.
Yeah, I wish I could. I was gonna say I wish I could know what you're going through with the whole nicotine thing, but I don't wish that, honestly. But I wish you weren't either. But just so I could, I guess, better relate and understand what you're dealing with, so it could be more of like a "oh yeah, I'm with you, girl" type discussion. But I don't really. The only thing I've ever had to kind of cut out of my life was caffeine, and that wasn't nearly as hard.
Yeah, it's rough because it's like nicotine is like a thing that you do all the time, and it's addictive, and it's a stimulant, and it does a lot of other things too. So like, I have undiagnosed ADHD. I'm not medicated for it. But the fact that it's like a little bit of a stimulant has always sort of like helped me kind of like manage some of my symptoms a little bit.
Okay.
It's like I have this itch that I just can't scratch, or it's like I'm thirsty, but I can't drink water. So I'm just trying to the main thing that I am doing is just making sure that I'm eating and drinking a lot of water because it sort of helps a little bit to do those things. But yeah, I mean, it's really rough. If you have never smoked, do not start. It sucks.
Despite the amazing advice that Siobhan just bestowed on the listening audience, I did want to remind y'all that we are not role models. In fact, we're not even real. We're cartoons. And I know on this podcast before, we have advocated for masking, making sure to be the COVID cautious baddies you want to see in the world. Most of the time, that is me. If I'm going to the grocery store, if I'm going to Target, anything like that, I do make sure to mask up. But as Siobhan alluded to earlier in the episode, I goofed. I rolled the dice a few too many times going to shows, unmasking, because for a couple reasons. Neither of them are good reasons. I'm just going to give you my reasons, and y'all could judge me on the court of the she-they court. For one, the venue is extremely hot. It is not air-conditioned. It is a very small kind of dive bar club, so it gets really fucking hot. And if you're wearing a mask and you're jumping around a lot, it's kind of unbearable. And I think the even less good reason is that I would like to be sociable, and it kind of hinders that aspect of it a little bit, because like people can't hear you as well. But like I said, neither of these are good reasons, and I do greatly regret having not masked the couple times I went to shows last week, because I did come down with COVID, a light case, but still, it kicked my ass, and I felt fucking horrible for a couple days. But you had also mentioned to me, and I don't mean to out you, but when you attended your anime convention that you didn't mask either.
Yeah, I was also not masking. I was also a bad girl. Like, it was one of those things where my girlfriend was masking the whole time, and like she pulled the mask out and put it on, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so stupid. I completely forgot a mask. I don't have one. But also, it's been days later, and I seem to be fine, so it worked out okay for me. But I do regret not masking. I will say that was very foolish, unsafe of me for sure. Mask up if you're going out, y'all.
And furthermore, I wanted to bring to the pod a COVID-related story.
Okay.
Because I have no shame, and I don't mind talking about things in my personal life that might be a little bit of, perhaps TMI. And I think if you're listening to this show at this point, and the whole point of the show is our trans journeys, our experiences, transitioning, and being on hormones, and all that, that 2 days in a row this week, one day, all I'll say is, I was a little lit.
Oh?
And I wanted to see, because I've never tried this before, I wanted to see what jerking off was like.
Oh, God.
In that state. It was difficult. I'll just say that. There was not very promising results. It was it was not working with me, is what I'll say. So
yeah.
So the next day, I was like, okay, well, look. I won't say how long. I did put a considerable amount of time into that attempt the day before, to no results. The next day, I was destined, I was determined, I'm going to make this work today.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for me, I did not take into account that I had already taken my NyQuil for the night.
Oh goodness.
So, about halfway through, I started to feel the NyQuil, and I was getting a little woozy. And when I say to you that I was fighting for my life to finish, that was 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. Will never attempt again. That was fucking awful. My head was like swimming by the end of it, of just like, just desperate, just like, I need to finish this, I need to cross the finish line here. That sunk cost fallacy. I can't have put all this time into this for nothing.
That's so real.
And the nut was mid at best. Not even worth the time.
Nut was mid.
Not even worth the time or the energy. So take it from me.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit.
I'll say many such cases. It's hard. Yeah.
I've heard people talk about like I've heard people not being able to fuck. Like I've heard like the whiskey dick expression.
Mm-hmm. That's such a real fucking phenomenon. Oh my god.
And also,
don't get me started.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's frustrating.
I'm going to ignore the sidebar and one other possible TMI thing I wanted to mention.
Okay, let's get into it.
So I've noticed. And I might cut this out, I might not. I don't know, because this is kind of embarrassing. But
yeah, totally fine.
They say that when you go on hormones, your body goes through scent changes.
Mm-hmm.
And people have talked about like body odor itself kind of changes. But specifically, what I wanted to talk about was the crotchal region.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
In that I have been informed that the smell and taste has kind of changed to that of a vagina, which...
Yes! It's a real thing. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's a real fuck thing, and I've noticed this probably since around November or December of last year. So that itself is not a new phenomenon for me. When the summer months started, I was a little concerned at first. Mm-hmm. Because what the fuck do I even say?
You get sweaty balls, okay? I understand.
The area has been especially pungent, and look. Mm-hmm. This has not been something I've ever really dealt with, even pre-transition. Nothing I've really noticed too much. Mm-hmm. But fucking, like, double take, like, Jesus, whoa, okay, kind of moments when I'm, like, getting ready for a shower or something, and just, like, holy shit, wow, okay. So, when I know the whole girl stink meme is a meme. and I am a devout believer and follower of such, but yeah, that was not something I was expecting exactly, and I was a little worried at first, but yeah, apparently this is just a kind of a normal thing.
Yes, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, like, the whole, like, girl stink thing, that's also such a real thing. I will fight anyone who disagrees, because, like... you know, let's just say, okay, I work a very sweaty job, and I worked it pre and post transition. So I know what my sweaty clothes smell like. And I gotta say, they smell very, very different. Okay. So yeah, absolutely a real thing. And it's kind of a cool thing to experience, you know, even if it's an interesting thing to bring up in a public forum such as this. But I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. It's such a real thing.
I haven't worn deodorant in like a month now. I just said fuck it. And like, I know we work very different jobs, and I don't work outside and all that, but I've just kind of been going by the, if I'm not hearing complaints, I'm not going to really sweat it. Pardon the pun. That's definitely one of the more welcoming and definitely euphoric side effects that I didn't really know how real they would be. But y'all, yeah, the legends are true.
My apologies to all, you know, the thirsty trans lesbians who follow me, but you bet your ass your girl is putting on deodorant, okay? Like, I don't think you understand what it's like to dig a hole in summer in the middle of Texas in a fucking swamp, but it's not pretty, okay? And I have to work right next to other women, and I'm not gonna be the one smelly bitch not wearing deodorant, so... Cry about it all you want in my replies, in my DMs. Please, in fact, do so. Yes. But I will still be putting the deodorant on. I'm so sorry.
No, I think that is justified. And I think, yeah, anyone who is not in your exact position cannot exactly complain. Especially if they're not experiencing it firsthand. Like, y'all don't even know anyway. So what the fuck are you even crying about? But
exactly. I am like you said earlier, a cartoon character that lives on your phone. So it doesn't matter if I wear deodorant or not. You're not even around to get a whiff, okay?
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just work in cars, very isolated most of the time, and I work in air-conditioned buildings. So it's not really a big problem. In my experiences, if I'm like out and about, like shopping or whatever, if people are fucking close enough to me to be able to smell me anyway, I think that's a problem. Like, I'd back the fuck up. You know, like, if you're fucking catching whiffs for free, that's a problem. You gotta back up.
Okay, well, yes. On that note,
I feel like I probably should have cleared a lot of this with you before we started, but hey, that's the nature of the pod, baby.
On the pod? Yeah. Real. This week, we are discussing the self-titled record from beautiful transgender woman rapper Damage with a 3 for the E. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I am such a huge fan of Damage. Both as an artist and also as a beautiful woman who I ogle at all the time.
Totally fair.
There's a lot going on with this record that's a little bit different from some of her other music, you know? She's very in your face. I saw someone describe her as a rage rapper, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. And, you know, we've talked about her on the podcast a little bit before, where one of the things that I really love and appreciate about her music is that it's helped me process a lot of my anger and fear at what it's like to be transgender in the South, where she has a lot of songs that, I mean, Double Take is about being trans in public and having people like freak out about you just being around, you know, which is a very common thing. And that's, you know, it's definitely like an anthem for me. She has, you know, a lot of her other songs are very, like, political. Genocide comes to mind.
Oh, yeah.
Where, yeah, like, it's just sort of about the sort of political situation of trans people in both the US and in the UK as well. Yeah, she's just very, like, unapologetically, like, angry at it. And it, you know, before, like, listening to it, I had, like, felt a lot of that anger. But it was hard for me to, like, sort of express it or like expunge it from my body, because like so much of like my experience being trans and also my like public expression of my transness is very like positive and joyful, you know?
Same,
and
yeah.
in that space, it's hard to be like, but also I'm fucking angry and scared all the time. You know what I mean?
You know, it's very funny that you say that, and I didn't even really think about that till now. My presence on the internet since the late 2000s has been the angry ranter who just talks about whatever and curses a lot and is very, you know, it was a character, but it really just was an extension of who I was in reality, because I was a very negative person, took shit way too seriously, was very pessimistic, very negative. I modeled myself, my early internet personality, after like the angry video game nerd and nostalgia critic and people like that. And people really didn't gravitate towards positive content. Like you would see people who would kind of do an offshoot, who would kind of do like a parody almost of that, but be more positive and upbeat about it. But they never really got the same traction. The way I described myself on YouTube before was a nerd asshole muse. That was the fucking like the way I would end videos would be like those words would pop up on the screen, like, that's how you know me, that's who I am, I'm a nerd and I'm an asshole. Like that, and it was like, that's not who I want to be anymore. So I like when people say like oh, Moth is so kind. Like I see kind a lot, and it's like, yes, that's who I want to fucking be. I want to be kind. Before I transitioned, a lot of how I would express myself would be through anger, and that I mean like offline.
Yeah.
With news, you know, political things. If I was afraid of things, I would default to anger and rage very easily.
So would I, girl. Like, I had an entire, like, other Twitter account pre-transition that was, like, all about me just, like, being angry and, like, fighting with people online. Wow. Especially around political topics. So, yeah, 100%. And since transitioning, I felt like, you know, first of all, I felt less anger. I felt so much joy. And, like, a lot of, like, the things that I feel that are, like, scary, they scare me. They make me sad. And it's, like, kind of sometimes hard for me to get back to that same place of anger. Because so much of that place of anger was, like, this feeling like I would never be able to get what I want. And now I feel like I've gotten so many things that I did want in life, and my life is beautiful. You know, there is so much coming to get me, like, very literally now, where there wasn't in the past, you know?
Yeah. So when I'd first discovered Changeling, actually, I had discovered her music first, and her music, it varies a good bit from Damage's. Hers is very upbeat. Even if the subject matter isn't, you know, a happy subject matter, usually the delivery is very chaotic. That when I finally saw that she was working with Damage, like, you can imagine my fucking, like, who the fuck is this? The first time I saw Damage was like, and I know you can imagine because you said it earlier, just like, who the fuck is this? Like, goddamn.
Very, very powerful energy.
Yeah, and it was like very, very commanding. I'm just like, holy shit, okay, like fucking fun times over kind of energy.
Exactly, yeah.
But still funny and clever and witty.
Still funny, still clever, still witty, and I will say, like, still very, like, joyful. All the things that we were mentioning before, but it's just like, but also has this, like, you know, strong, like, you know, anger and, like, protection, like, within it, which I think is a very powerful energy that, like, I really needed. You know, and I really need, like, being out here. Oh my god, Damage. Oh, I love her.
On tour now, by the way.
On tour now. I'm probably gonna go see her when she's in Denton October 6th. So we'll
really hope
that.
You get a chance. I'm so disappointed that the date that I was tentatively seeing her got canceled.
Yeah.
And I saw that they were looking to reschedule at some point, but I'm not holding my breath for that. And the person I was going to go with says they won't be able to go now anyway because, like, work-related stuff. So it's all coming down, babe. It's all crumbling down around me. It was looking like it was going to be a whole, like, 2-car full road trip up there, big little hotel thing, and now it's just...
Oh, my God.
It's just all over. But yeah, I do hope for the both of us that you do end up going and have an amazing time.
I'm really hopeful. I should probably buy my ticket and stop hoping, but alas. Sorry, that's the ADHD. But anyway.
I feel, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Damage also, I think an important thing to note about her aesthetically and her, like, especially musically, is that she does not voice train in her music at all. And that's, like, an interesting thing, because I love that. That's, like, a very, very powerful vibe. It's freeing to me. It's, you know, there's a real feeling of liberation. Damage is just, like, truly, like, has given me so much strength to, like, get through, like, the very difficult parts of my life where I'm, like, in, you know, rural Texas digging fucking holes and shit like that. I really, like, cannot recommend her music enough. Also, she's gorgeous. Can we talk about this? She's so beautiful. She's, like...
Absolutely.
She's, like, the kind of woman who, like, I look at and I'm like, you are aspirationally beautiful to me. It's like, I want, like... You know, it's not just that I want to be with you, it's that I want to, like, be like you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You'll come across so many fucking beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely stunning, breathtaking women, and you have that moment where it's just like, am I envious of you, or is it something else? And you kind of have to break down that feeling at first.
Yes, yes.
So I totally get what you're saying.
I think the thing specifically with, like, Damage is that, like, so many of, like, the trans women who are, like, beautiful that we all hold up as a society are, like, thin. Girl, that ain't me, okay? I'm a little thicker, right? I'm a little bit of a thicker milkshake. And so is Damage, and I love that. Like, she's, like I said, aspirationally beautiful, truly. So, Damage, if you're listening to this, I love you. That's all I'm saying. And
I'll definitely be promoting this episode in the Discord, so there's definitely a chance.
Oh my god. Okay. I don't want to think about this. I cannot stand the thought of a woman I'm in love with hearing my voice. That's no.
Okay. Well, so I take back what I said. I absolutely will not. There's zero chance she'll ever hear this. Damage, don't listen. If you have been listening, turn it off.
Turn it off right
Damage.
Now.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so I think we should jump into it. There's 20 tracks on this record. It's a big one. We are not going to go through this whole thing systematically. We're just kind of going to discuss the experience of the piece and some of, like, our personal connections to it, I think. So it starts with a skit that features 2 voices who are both Damage. One of them's named Nick, and the other one is named Damage. So we're getting a little bit of this, like, you know, boy persona, trans persona sort of, like, conversation. And that's sort of a major theme in this album. So, like, it starts off with Nick wanting to do this, like, guided meditation thing. I think Damage does have a song that's, like, a guided meditation from a previous project. So this is kind of a reference to that. I think that song is called Focus or something like that.
Okay.
Let me look it up to get that correct. There's, like, this conflict between Nick and Damage that's basically, like, Nick is trying to do this thing where it's like he's trying to, like, transcend, he's trying to, like, make music that's, like, really meaningful and has substance, and Damage is trying to exist. So there's, like, this whole thing about, like, Nick is the one who's actually alive and Damage is the one who is, like, you know, a sort of, like, theory, a, like, persona, you know. And they're, like, having this conversation.
The rapper Mega Ran had an album come out a few years ago where there's a song on there where Random, which is his old rap name and persona, is like calling him up at the apartment and is like, let me up there, we gotta fucking talk, you changed your shit up and we're not the same anymore, like, what'd you do? So it's like that kind of the argument between what I used to do and who I currently am. But it definitely also reminded me of the Philosophy Tube video from a few months back, where I don't even know how they managed to do that episode, but where Abigail is talking to her pre-transition self and very much having the same conversations of like, it's dangerous out there for people like you. Like that part in particular was like, wow, this is like exactly how that episode went.
I think another thing that was quite interesting for me is, so there's like mention of like, you know, we moved out to California to like try to make this work. You know, that's like a big thing they're talking about. Because Damage is originally from New Orleans. One thing I wanted to mention about that is I was born in New Orleans. So
you were.
There is a possible like universe out there where Damage and I grew up together. And I'm kidding. New Orleans is a huge place. Who knows about all that? But anyway,
get writing on the fanfic, people.
Oh my god! Don't even. I will write this fanfic just for myself. Okay. God, this is so embarrassing. But so there's like this, you know, there's a feeling like in this skit and in a lot of the skits between Damage and Nick where like you've like embraced this other part of yourself, but there's like aspects of the old self that are hanging around that, you know, you lean on to sort of like support you through things. I'm certainly experiencing this with my transition. There's like some things that are like, you know, my past self, some of my bad habits are still there. But I've also heard, you know, it's like some trans women, like after a few years, like there's other more positive aspects of like the boy self, so to speak, that come back. And that's really cool. And I'm certainly excited for that to happen if it does happen for me. But right now it's this sort of dynamic where like there's like this Nick character and this Damage character, and they have a toxic sort of like frustrated like relationship with each other that doesn't really resolve. That's kind of how it feels for me right now. So this like kind of was a deeply resonant thing. Okay, and then we got a couple of songs that are so like the first half of the record from here basically follows Nick's perspective more or less, where, you know, we get like some conversations like the song Rome or Pressure, very much about what it's like to try to build a rapping career, you know, or like to build like notoriety online. Some of which is also, you know, even though I'm not a rapper and I don't do anything of particular import online, I still relate to some of it, you know, like you get lost in your socials. How are you going to keep up with all this shit?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I put way too much effort and stress into that shit.
It also brings up more conflict between Nick and Damage, which is kind of worked out on the next skit called Bye. Where, again, it's like, you know, Nick is like, well, I'm actually the one who exists. Where Damage is like, well, I'm the one who's like creative and like who's like doing all these things for us. And that one is particularly bad because there's lines like Damage says to Nick, and then there's the rest of you who wallow in self-pity as if that does anything outside of prolonging the accountability that you don't want to accept. I wish I could tell my egg self that. You know what I mean?
God, yes. Ugh.
Yeah. Just like, you know, knowing knowing that something isn't right, knowing what that is, but still being like, the part of me that's damaged, that can't exist yet. I have to neglect that part of me.
There were multiple times I came out at work, and again, it's so silly that it's not silly because it was good for me. I came out to my coworkers as pansexual once, mainly just because I was hearing some language and stuff around the workplace, and I was like, hey, y'all, just letting you know, you've got a faggot among y'all. So maybe tone that shit down a bit, because I have HR's number, and I'm not afraid to call it.
Yes.
So I went ahead and did that, and I didn't realize, but afterwards I felt so much better of just like getting that out in the open, that it was like, wow, like it feels really great to not be hiding that part of myself anymore. And then like 2 or 3 years later, I came out to my coworkers again as non-binary, and tried to explain to this room full of people what the fuck that meant, because none of them had ever like really dealt with this reality before. And again, that felt fucking amazing. But there was still like that part of me that I was not willing to confront yet. That was like, absolutely. You know, you'd feel even better if you got this out in the open.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a hard thing to confront and to present people with, especially because you have no idea how they're going to react to that. So like, even if it wasn't as amazing as I would have liked it to have been, I still felt that much better for not hiding that part of myself anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for me, it was like, it was just like a very long, slow process of a lot of like, a lot of like cycles of repression, and then like, you know, kind of coming out of that. But like the big thing for me was like, I knew and identified as non-binary for a long time, but I wouldn't even tell people because I felt like I wasn't even like earning it. You know, I wasn't doing anything with it.
Oh, God. Yeah, I wasn't doing enough to prove it. Ugh.
Right. And I also wasn't like letting myself even do it because I knew it wasn't the only thing. And I knew if I went into it, I would just like go all the way, so to speak. So yeah, it was definitely like a thing that was like very private for a long time. And actually, you know, the next song on this record does talk a lot about that. The song Behind Closed Doors. Again, a lot of it is about her like music career. But a lot of it is also about like, you know, limiting your existence, you know, to only being behind closed doors, not being out like publicly. And that's like a really tricky, like difficult thing, like, and process to come out of, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then we got a couple other tracks after that. Cloudy, which is about, like, you know, the future being cloudy, being, like, unsure of where things are going to go. She had a lot of success with songs like Double Take or, like, some of the singles that we mentioned, but, like, is that going to translate into, like, a larger success? There is the song On My Way, more about, like, the sort of philosophical, like, enlightenment, like, that Nick seems to be, like, really pursuing in, like, this early part of the record, right?
Yeah, there's like this radio ad he hears, or someone on I didn't know the context, if it was like on YouTube or something,
or I think it was
on TikTok.
Yeah, it was a TikTok.
Yeah, it was like a TikTok influencer who was talking about all this like self-enlightenment and like this journey you have to go on. Nick interacts with this person on the trail who is like also looking for this, and
yeah, her name is Kira.
Who we hear on the cycle coming up, helping Nick find their way to this place. That they're like, oh yeah, I'll help you or whatever. Can I fucking tell you though, for having never listened to this album like track by track, the absolute shock that the Act 1 finale.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So I gotta say, yeah, so, okay. Let's go ahead and get into that, right? So there's a couple more songs with Kira. One really funny line that I wanted to bring up in the She skit, which was like, Nick went to this mountain to like find this meadow of enlightenment or whatever. And he's like, I didn't even know, like, you know, how far or how long it would take me. Like, all I brought was some trail mix and 3 bottles of water. And I gotta say, like, the first time I heard that as, like, an outdoor girly, I was literally, like, I just went on, like, a short stroll, and I brought 2 liters of water with me, and I just started fucking laughing. Like, these goddamn city slickers, they didn't even understand what it's like to climb up a mountain, okay?
2 fucking liters, damn!
Yeah, 2 liters just for a short stroll, and I drank all of it. Okay.
That is incredible. You are an inspiration, Siobhan, because let me tell you, even dealing with COVID, I have been struggling to finish like my one fucking I want to say bottle of water, but it's not like a store bottle of water. It's one you fill up, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like it's like a 32-ounce bottle of water, and I didn't drink even one of those yesterday. Like,
oh my god, girl, I'm coming over right now, and I'm going to put a fucking IV in your skin, okay? You better drink water, I swear to God.
I know. I filled it up earlier today because, honestly, you're gonna... I shouldn't even tell you this, because, well, no, if it's gonna... Again, if this is what it's gonna take for you to come over to North Carolina, then okay. But I had to empty my fucking water bottle because, like, the water in it was, like, stale, you know what I mean?
Oh my god, yes, of course.
So I was like, okay, let me fucking get some fresh water, and I'm trying, because girl, I even got a new fucking I got a new bottle. It's got like a straw, like a little flip up straw thing. Mm-hmm. It makes it so much more easier, because the other bottle I had, you had to like tilt it back. It was a whole big thing. And this, it's easier. So for like a week or so, I was so hydrated. I'm very proud of myself. My pee was indistinguishable from just like running tap water, okay? It looked fucking good.
Girl.
I can't say that's the case anymore.
Your pee better always look like that, okay? I'm just saying,
I'm
fucking
trying.
stay hydrated, girls, okay? You can't skincare your way out of not hydrating. It's so important, okay? Drink your fucking water. Anyway. So, now that that's out of the way, we can get to the Act 1 finale, which is the coolest fucking part. Nick and Kira find this meadow of enlightenment, right? And right as they find it, Damage suddenly catches up to them. Nick freaks out, and Kira actually reveals herself to be the embodiment of the divine feminine. Right? She is not just some girl on the trail. She is actually like a spiritual force of femininity. In a moment of great emotional crescendo, stabs Nick in the fucking chest. And then is like, you have actively harmed and neglected the most beautiful part of yourself. And it's like so intense, and like, yeah, the first time I heard it, I was walking and I stopped. I couldn't move anymore, and I just stood like eyes wide open, just like listening to this modulated voice like say all these things. Yeah. And honestly, like, you know, if you're not going to listen to this record at all, and in fact, I have only shown people this one skit from this record.
Oh wow.
I've just been like, this is really cool. Let me tell you the like what's going on in this part, and then like play, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think just like as like this is what the experience of like, you know, your egg cracking is like that's it. You know what I mean?
It's very cathartic to hear.
Yeah, and like Damage is like, what's happening to me? And it's like, you're being given life, my love. It's like, oh my god. It's extremely powerful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better side one finale, because like, and I'll say this, because I do really appreciate Damage and her work. Like, the first half is not exactly what I was used to with Damage. It's not as aggressive. It's not as... A lot of it was just, like, I'm on my grind kind of rap. And it's like... It's still better than the average because it's Damage doing it, you know? It's not what I've come to expect, so I was like, all right. But then once that finale and the first part was like, oh, okay, now I see what's happening. Because right after that, with the Shine track, is is basically the open skit again, but now Damage is real.
The way I see this record is that it's like it loops, right? So it starts in that one place. You go through Nick's perspective, into, he's trying to find enlightenment. He's trying to transcend, as he says. And that's why the songs are very introspective, but there's this undercurrent of like, I'm not being real to myself throughout the whole thing. Then you get to, the meadow and the egg cracking moment where like Nick and Damage are fused into the same person and Damage is real.
Yeah.
Then you go back to the beginning and then you see from the beginning Damage's perspective. And then it ends in the same place. That's how I see the sort of structure of the narrative of this record. It's like two loops that start in the same place and end in the same place. And that place is that sort of like fusion of like the boy self, the one who actually is alive, and the like divine feminine within, who's like embraced, But that also makes it weird because it's like, yeah, like that's the middle of the record, and then we're going back and we're seeing Damage's side of things. The skit is the open skit again, and all of the same things are said, but you see and you hear like Nick being the shitty one. Because I think they're re-recorded, and it's like, okay, Nick's the shitty one actually, because like Damage comes across as the shitty one at the beginning, and then we all go into songs that are like written from her perspective, which are a lot more raw emotionally, and then we get into like the really angry political stuff in all in the second half. The second half of the record is really my favorite.
For sure.
Yeah, the first half of the record, I like it. There's a lot of songs that I enjoy listening to, but the second half of the record has the songs that are actually on my liked songs playlist on Spotify. That gives you an idea. Like they're the songs that I like will actually listen to devoid of this record, where the other ones work as like parts of the record, but I'm not particularly drawn to listening to outside of them.
Like To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick's album? That one is kind of the same with me, not exactly half and half, but the album's got that through narrative. You can listen to specific songs as standalones, and they work really well. And then there's also like I'm in a mood to listen to this whole fuck story play out. Yeah. And there's songs that I wouldn't necessarily listen to on their own from that album, but if you're listening to the whole thing, it's like, oh, hell yeah, here comes that one. But like if it came up on shuffle, you wouldn't necessarily be as excited to hear it,
Yeah, 100%. And like they work as like part of an emotional journey that you like are going through with a record. But yeah, they're not exactly like songs that work as standalone things, because it like especially like the first half of the record, those are things that I don't really enjoy remembering the feeling of. I don't really like remembering what it's like to be a guy who knows that he's trans but doesn't want to come out, so is trying to attain enlightenment of some kind as a way to transcend. You know what I mean? I'm glad I decided to transition instead of transcending, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. Like, you fucking look at pictures of me in that in-between non-binary and trans phase of, like, when I'm baking, I'm very afraid of cracking the egg too hard because I really don't want to get shell in the bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of those really small, dainty taps where it's just like, well, I'm hoping one of these will eventually do it, Yeah. And there was a lot of desperation there. Like, and I'm not saying this to shame anybody who goes through this period because, it's not a universal experience. I'm just letting you know that I've been there and a lot of us do go through this phase. But there was a lot of very bold expression on my part. Went with I was still shaving my head for years at that point because my hairline sucks and I hated how my hair looked. So I just thought it was easier to just shave my head entirely. Eventually, I thought I'll just shave my eyebrows off. I don't really know what I was thinking there.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the look. I did that for a minute. Just like the very bold, out there makeup looks, I would try just desperately clinging on to something that felt good. One of these is gonna take. But it's like at the end of the day, it was just like, you know what you've got to do. Like, you know, it's like, look, I think you're lying to yourself. You're hoping one of these is going to fucking do it, but you know what you ultimately have to do.
Yeah, you know.
We just had her on the show, the last episode, but Aria, fucking Polly Pocket Watch, had a thread retweeting a good friend of mine, actually, Adequate Emily, who originally tweeted about that fearful moment of, like, not everyone, like, the transitioning isn't that super happy, glorious moment for everybody. And I honestly do have to take a second to say that Emily was actually the person that I talked to way back when, in private DMs, asking about, like, HRT in the first place.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I really appreciate Emily a lot. She was one of the first people that I noticed that was following me on Twitter. She was a fan of Going Off, and just started kind of seeing her on the timeline, and was really one of the first trans people that I was, like, interacting with on a one-on-one basis, because, like, before you get, like, really into the fold of trans Twitter, it's a little intimidating, especially if you're not, like, actively transitioning, or you don't really consider yourself trans. Like, I just, like, oh, I'm just non-binary, you know, that's as far as I want to go with it. You're not talking to, like, the sex workers, because that's, you know, you don't know how that's going to go. Like, they're all business, you know, they're not here to fucking, you know, answer your questions about about transitioning or whatever. They got fucking money to make, and I respect that.
Right, yeah.
But I guess Emily was the first person I saw that felt like a safe person I could reach out to. And she gave me a lot of information, and I really do have her to thank for making it seem for making it sound like it was something I was going to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really powerful story. The, like, people that you talk to in that critical time where you're trying to, like, come out and, like, have these new realizations about yourself, right? They can be very meaningful, important people, and it's also hard to find them, right? Like you were saying, like, there are a lot of, like, the people who are sort of leaders in our community, or at least are highly visible, have particular jobs that are not necessarily conducive to, like, talking to you about your transition. You know what I mean?
They could be, like, journalists too, like, people with really big platforms who, you know, don't have a lot of spare time.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's really cool that she took the time to, like, talk to you about it and you know, do something like that. And speaking of which, if anyone's out there who is listening to us and wants to talk about it, you know, our replies are always open for that kind of thing, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do want people to know that, like, I have people come into my DM sometimes, and, like, again, it's so weird, because I see myself, you know, this tiny fuck thing, and I'm very unassuming and everything. And when people come into my DMs and they're like, I'm really sorry to, like, and I'm just like, why are you, like, apologize? Like, you don't have to apologize. Like, please. Like, I want people to feel like I'm someone that you could talk to about this stuff. Like, I am more than happy to use my platform to try to inform people, or kind of make people feel, like, safe, or that this isn't as intimidating as it needs to be, you know? Like, it is scary. I'll totally admit that. Like I've said before, it's the hardest decision I ever made, and I made my life considerably harder by transitioning. But it's the best decision I ever made, and I would never take it back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I found that talking to other, like, trans women about things is, like, so helpful to, like, understanding, like, everything that you sort of feel as a result of the process, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it can be like very confusing and sometimes like hard to articulate like everything that's like not just like the moment of like your egg cracking and figuring out the logistics around your transition, but also like the emotional processes that you're going through and what it feels like. And the next song on this record is exactly about that. The song "Feelings" is really good for that. You know, that particular experience, because it's just like her struggling to express everything that she feels as a result of this like new understanding and like this new like coming out. Towards the end of the song, there's part of it where she's like, it's like the most powerful thing I've ever felt or experienced, but I can't even talk about it. I can't even say anything about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's like so relatable to me, and I think that's why it's like so important to like have connections to like other trans women and talk about it with each other, because like talking about it with like you or like with my other friends that I've made since coming out has really helped me like understand and articulate it. Because when I try to talk to cis people about my experience, or like when I was coming out to my parents, especially, like it was so hard to like talk to them about like the things that I had felt and experienced for a long time. This is the most powerful thing I've ever experienced, and it's hard for me to even say anything about it, which is crazy.
Our approaches to transitioning were pretty different. You knew way longer than I did. In trying to explain it, you trace your steps. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that when you were growing up that didn't make sense suddenly do make sense.
Yes.
It's funny because I know one like argument about like, you know, TikTok's turning people trans or whatever, but like, no joke, y'all.
TikTok turns you trans?
With me, what happened was when I first got on TikTok, TikTok decided to start showing me a lot of videos of neurodivergent people. And really explaining like autism and anxiety and ADHD to where a lot of my childhood suddenly made a lot of sense. Yeah. And it really started to click. It was just like, wow, yeah, I do have a lot of autistic traits. And it felt really good to finally have a word for it. You know, we've talked about that on the show before, is to like have the language for it. And I had a very similar experience with realizing that I was trans. Was that suddenly my algorithm was showing me a lot of trans people, and a lot of what they were talking about felt very familiar. It really does help to have these public people, these people with platforms who like aren't educators. They're just simply talking about their experiences, and it's like, wow, that's what I dealt with.
That's one of the reasons why I always talk about like, oh, I knew for a long time, because like my algorithm has been full of specifically trans women since like 2016. And I came out last year. So right. Really, you know, it was like in there for so long. And let's go ahead and let's take that feeling and let's move right on to track 14 of this record, called Grave, which is one of my favorite songs that Damage has ever fucking made. I really like this song. This is on my liked songs. I will always apologize when it comes on the shuffle and I'm like in the car with cis people, because I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and skip this one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's a very similar experience when like, you know, Paralytic States comes on like on the shuffle. God. And you're just like, this is an extremely sad transgender song and I have to go. I'm not putting these emotions into this car right now. We're not talking about it. You're not going to get it either. Like, because when I'm with cis people, they're not going to understand. You know what I mean? It's a lot darker than every previous song. It's slow. It has this like absolutely brutal like guitar part that just like chugs along the whole time. And yeah, it's about feeling like you're trapped in a grave and then escaping the grave. which is crazy because it talks a lot about like the experience of like wanting to die or feeling like you're already dead or feeling like you're waiting to die, hating your body too. It's an extremely transgender song. That's really the like best way to describe it. It really does capture perfectly what it's like to feel really dysphoric. And especially like the feeling of like, you know, being pre-transition where like I felt so much dysphoria that I completely suppressed it and it was sublimated into other things. And the moments that it would come out and I would actually feel it were so intense that I would do anything to like stop feeling that way. And this song is that feeling. It like captures it so well.
Whenever Paralytic States comes on shuffle, and even if I'm by myself, I'll like tap my toe or whatever for like the opening riff or whatever, and then before the verse starts, it's like, okay, I'm out.
What, you don't like talking about cutting the skin wide open and shaving the bone down deep? Come on. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a sing-along. It's a happy sing-along track. It's like, hey, this is really fucking catchy, but not right now.
But this one, at least, like, it at least has the decency to sound as sad and as dark as it is. Where Paralytic States is at least, unfortunately, a banger, where it's like, it goes, and you want to sing along to it. Don't get me wrong, it fucks. It absolutely fucks. Sure. I would mosh to this song. So I would mosh to the song with a veracity that few have seen before. I would be fucking eating motherfuckers in the pit, okay?
I need to see that shit.
Yeah, look, I'm a very soft and cute little rabbit girl, but you get me in a pit and the jackrabbit comes out, all right?
You've mentioned the mosh before. Is that still a thing? Like, I know you said you would in the past. Like, do you still fucking get in pits and stuff?
If there's a pit around me, I will be in it. Yes.
Wow, shit.
Yeah, I think the thing is I just don't go to shows that often, but look, I'm in the best shape of my life. I will be in the pit the whole show if there is one.
That is a very good point. Yeah. You are fucking banging on all cylinders right now.
It's so true.
I was actually going to tell you, I don't even know if I had mentioned this to you. I talked about it a lot that night because I was really pissed off. Mm-hmm. I went to see one of my friend Keely's bands, Moth Critique, at the Milestone. Ooh. And amazing show. They're incorporating noise elements into their shit that is very obnoxious and loud and nasty and disgusting, and I fucking love it. It's my shit. I was very excited for it. She was showing me the noise rigs that they were like hooking up for the show, and she was like, this is going to be the most obnoxious set ever, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to fucking be there. I was right up front, kind of side of the stage, off to the side, and I was ready to film the set because their sets don't go very long. Their sets are like maybe 20 minutes. And this one motherfucker from the other side of the goddamn stage just hurls himself across the whole goddamn thing and becomes this like trudging back and forth 2 seconds into the fucking song, mind you.
Oh my god.
Like doing like spin kicks and shit. He almost took my goddamn head off. Like, he bumped into me a few times and I was livid. I was like, okay, bro, like, I'm off to the side. I clearly don't want any part of this. Why are you being such an asshole?
Yeah.
And Neb immediately went into like standing between us, shoving the guy back mode, like fucking bodyguard kind of mode. And I was so fucking pissed off. Like,
of course.
Most people knew the fucking vibe, but this one dude just wanted to be a fucking prick. And yeah. I hated that guy and his shirt that said on my way to Coochie Town.
Oh,
I highly doubt that.
Fucking god. We need to find this man and we need to fucking get him, okay?
Hold on, I'm actually Googling right now, on my way to Coochie Town, what the fuck that even means. I don't think that's from anything.
What it means. You know what it means. It means he fucks cis women. That's what it means, okay?
I know that.
Or
I just didn't know if it was like a lyric.
Least.
I thought it was like a lyric to a song or something.
Is
it? But I don't think... It doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
no.
It's just stupid. He's just like, hey, by the way, you know, I have sex with women with vaginas. Like, or at least I want to. Because I doubt he actually is.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, fuck that guy. Hated that guy. Yeah. It made it all the more cathartic when they went into their, like, really super noisy parts, because that motherfucker wasn't moving during any of that. You could tell he hated that. God. It was like, good. Yeah, I want you to fucking seethe. I want you to be miserable.
Yeah.
I actually got to show you the video, because I was filming, and you see him flying from offside, and like I'm like, all right, like I'm nudging over, and he keeps coming over. I was like, all right, I'm just fucking off to the side of the stage. You're a fucking asshole. But yeah, I'll definitely have to show you that.
Yes, please. I would love to see that. But yeah, I mean that's like the thing. Like moshing is really fun, but like when you're in the pit, if you ever go into a pit, if you've not been in one before, just be mindful, because like a lot of people are in there and they're like, everybody has each other's backs in here. We're all here. We're doing this kind of like violent kind of stimming, but like, I'm not actually trying to hurt anyone. We're all trying to have fun. And then there's other people who are just like, no rules. I'm going to break someone's fucking nose. And like, you just got to watch out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're going in there to fucking crowd kill, like, all right.
Yeah. Like, and you know, if somebody falls over, like just stop and pick them up. Everybody stop, pick them up. Nobody get hurt in the pit, okay?
I will say the difference in pits, like at the Peach Rings show, there was tiny bits of like pushing and stuff like that, but it was very different. Like it was a very different vibe than at this show, and like people knew what they were doing, and it was very respectful, and no one was being a dick. No one was like actively trying to hit somebody. This motherfucker actually kicked someone's drink out of their hand. I was very surprised that he didn't get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Okay, so after Grave, there is a short skit. Damage is talking to like one of her collaborators who's like unnamed, and they're like, oh yeah, this is doing really well. Look. It's like, oh, you even got, like, the attention of, like, not Ben Shapiro. Like, clearly, like, they're clearly doing a Ben Shapiro thing, but they have him, like, his name is Trevor or some shit.
Yeah, he becomes the antagonist in the second half.
Exactly, yeah. And then it goes straight into, like, they're like, okay, well, how far can we push this? Like, this is a good idea. It seems to be, like, getting a lot of attention. And then they go into, like... probably the biggest song of this record, Prison.
Yeah.
This is one that was already on my liked songs before I listened to the full record. This song fucks. It's so good.
It goes so hard,
It goes so hard. So it starts off with this little clip, and it's from like one of these like evangelical pastors.
The clip got spread a good bit when it first came out.
Yes, so you'll probably recognize it, but it's like every single homosexual in our country should be sentenced to death. They should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head, and then it just starts from there. Like that's where Damage starts the song.
Yeah.
And it's all about being imprisoned by the state, or being in a mental prison of the mind, you know, which is obviously like very political, you know, but it's also, there's like a trans, being an egg is in some ways a mental prison that you escape. It's on my hole digging playlist. This is one of those songs that I'll put on right before I'm like, I'm going to blast through 80 centimeters of this bitch with the shovel right now. Like we're going, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it hits, it's fast. And it also makes me really angry because here's the thing. I live in Texas. If whether I get caught committing a crime or whether I am wrongfully imprisoned for a crime, my transsexual ass is going to men's prison. Okay. And you can imagine what's going to happen to me if that happens. Right.
Right.
I find ways to bring that up around my cis friends because it's like, look, we're all having a good time. We all love Siobhan, but let's never forget like how bad this shit is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a big reason I wanted to come out as trans at work because, like, there are some people who are, like, casual Trump people. Like, they don't really think about it. Like, it's all a big sport to them. And, like, I don't hesitate to tell them, like, there's a lot on the line here. Like, if we're friends and you think I'm cool or whatever, like, that's great. Shit's really fucking scary, and I need y'all to understand that.
Like, the song itself sets the right level of like fear and anger that like allows me to feel that feeling that you were just describing. You know what I mean? Like where before I would sort of not think about it. Like, this song is kind of important to me because it's allowed me to feel that fear and feel angry about it and process it. Because it's unfortunately like a reality for us, right?
North Carolina is like a wannabe Florida, wannabe Texas sometimes.
Yeah.
With the gubernatorial election, I've mentioned the GOP candidate and how I could definitely see him making North Carolina a fucking hell for trans people and queer people in general if elected. And yeah, it's, you know, the future is very uncertain with the election. And like, as much as people want to kind of act like it's not as big as a threat as it was, like, I definitely feel a bit less stressed about the outcome, but I'm not trying to get too comfortable in the possibility of things going my way. Not to get too deep into it, but like, even if things go, quote, my way, it's still not going to be a whole hell of a lot better. Like, yeah, I've already heard enough policy that would negatively impact trans people coming out from the Dems camp anyway. Right. So it's not very promising. It's just not as bad as the alternative for the next 4 foreseeable years, you know, and then hopefully we can get a better choice by then.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunately very grim, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, like, I guess we'll survive and persevere in spite of it all. You know what I mean?
We always do. We
always do. It's so unfortunate, but that's why I'll say, like, again, the next song is so appropriate to discuss here because so there's another skit in between these two songs where it's just like, wow, it's still getting attention from like this Ben Shapiro guy. The numbers are going off. People really like it. Let's go even further, right? So
yeah.
The next song is called Lobotomy, and it's straight up about giving every single member of the US Congress a lobotomy.
Fuck yeah.
Which I love so much for exactly the reason you were just describing, Moth, where it's like, you know, obviously the Republicans want us all in fucking camps, but the Democrats aren't much better either. They're just, you know, less open about it, and they're less openly hostile towards us, but give them a little lobotomy. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it.
In the bathroom wall of the milestone, for reference, Vi Lyles is or was the mayor of Charlotte. It just says, Bernie sold us out, AOC sold us out, Vi Lyles sold us out. Like, someone just, like, did not give a fuck. It was just, like, in big letters, wrote that shit on the bathroom wall. It's like, yeah, fuck. Absolutely. Especially as someone who was, like, rah Bernie in 2016 to be so disillusioned now. It's like, I fucking feel y'all.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And it's like, you know, one of the rough things about being transgender is that it's just like, you know, best case scenario, we're like 1 or 2% of the population. So we're never going to be like big enough for politicians to care about us for our votes by itself. So we just have to rely on the kindness of other people, which is not great for us, let's just say.
Not super reliable, no.
Yeah, people tend not to like us, which is unfortunate because we're great.
We are great! Let this show be an example. We're fucking amazing.
Yeah, please don't put me in a camp. Oh my god.
Let this podcast convince you otherwise.
Yeah, so, like, lobotomy is just all about, like, feeling that much anger for, like, the way, like, the system is structured and how sometimes as a trans person, it just feels like there's really no options. So, like, a song where you're just like, yeah, like, fucking break into the U.S. Congress, fire a gun in the air and be like, all right, it's lobotomy time, you know, is, like, really cathartic to listen to, and I like it. My favorite line in the song is billions of people out living in poverty. Isn't it obvious? This isn't innocent. This is deliberate. This is the epitome of militant industry. I'm just like, hell yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, people will argue to death that like, oh, capitalism is, you know, the most peaceful ideology, the most like, the least militant. And I'm just like, no, it fucking isn't. This is absolutely militant. Like, everything around us is extremely militant. You've just stopped noticing. You know, it's like the literal sword of Damocles hangs over your head 100% of the time. And you can look and watch it fall on the heads of other people next to you and still be like, but there's not one above my head. It's like, no, bitch. Like, if your landlord, if you're late on your landlord for 3 weeks, your ass is on the street. Okay? Like,
yeah. And they're using us to get to y'all. If you're fucking cis and you're listening to this show, first of all, thank you very much. I hope we don't go over your heads too much and hope you're learning a thing or two. Second of all, they're using us to get to you.
Yes, 100%. Also, thanks for sticking around through the sweaty balls conversation. That's also a lovely part of being transgender is, you know, sometimes you just get like, you know, when you scratch them and then you go for the little sniff afterwards. It's like, you know, it's nice to like smell something new, I guess. That's the magic of the trans experience. There you go.
I haven't said it this episode yet, but I fucking love you, Siobhan.
I love you too, Moth.
Yay! And I said it without crying this time.
Yay! We did it. Okay. So, just to finish off, the record ends with there's a final skit where, like, after the song where Damage talked all about killing members of Congress, which was so based, the Ben Shapiro character doxes her. And then it's like all of her allies just immediately, they're like, oh, I didn't tell you to do that. Don't call me again. You know what I mean? They just like leave her high and dry, which is like so real because it's like everyone's here for the come up, but the second shit gets real when you're trans, you are alone and it sucks. But yeah, so she like escapes like people trying to fucking lynch her. And then we go back to the meadow from the finale where we have that scene. We have like a extended version of the Rome song from before. You know, it kind of sums everything up in the record. It talks a lot more about like Damage's like ambitions as an artist, which I think is really cool. And yeah, it has a cool feature. I don't have much to say about it other than it's a good closer.
I don't either. I love when the rap albums end with the remix of a song from earlier. I think that's always a nice touch.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially because it does wrap things up in a nice little package, and it doesn't leave you on the ending skit. It gives you a little bit more closure, which is nice.
Yes, 100%. And I certainly appreciate that.
I'm really glad you suggested it. I'm really glad I finally listened to it all the way through. It was definitely an experience. I know we kind of spoiled it with the review, but I want people to have that experience listening to the album and hearing the Act 1 finale and just that raw, just hearing the knife, you're just like, oh
fuck.
Oh,
yeah.
It's such a powerful moment. It's in there with fucking inspiration for the pod. I'm gonna go ahead and label and give her that label. Listening to Ethel Cain's Preacher's Daughter.
Yes, it's very similar in terms of like a concept album about like the trans experience that's incredibly moving, and is like a like full album listen. You know what I mean? Where it's like listen to each of the tracks in order. Like, you know what I mean? There's like really, really good individual songs on here, but it's best appreciated as a full length LP that you listen to in order. Yeah. I love it.
I know. I don't know if we've mentioned it offhand, but the fact that we started the pod was because me and you discussed the Going Off episode of Preacher's Daughter, and you had really insightful thoughts about it.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that people knew that.
I don't know if we've discussed that before, but yeah, that's the lore, which is my takes on Preacher's Daughter was so good that Moth was like, we have to do a podcast. There you go.
Well, that decides it. Yeah, because you put it in a perspective that I didn't think about before, and that album had such a visceral effect on me that just stopped me dead in my tracks that I couldn't help but be reminded of that album when that moment on this album came up.
Absolutely.
And I don't even know what happened. I think I liked 3 videos from Ethel Cain on TikTok, and now she's like every 5th video is like a video of Ethel Cain being extremely sexy at a concert, and I'm not complaining about it.
She is extremely sexy.
The fucking swag she's got going on is underappreciated. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I don't think enough people sing Ethel Cain's praises as just being a fucking smoke show. So
you think so? You think people don't say that Ethel Cain is beautiful like every day?
I don't hear it enough anyway.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yes, Ethel Cain is very beautiful. I thought you were actually doing a bit just now. I was like, wait, what? Like, the main thing I hear about Ethel Cain is people posting photos of her and being like, oh my God, look at this gorgeous woman. Isn't she just like absolutely seraphim coated? And I'm like, yes, 100%. You know, she is also a musician. Like,
see, that's the thing. Maybe I don't objectify other trans women as much as the timeline does. And that's a lie. That's not true.
Oh my God.
I'll just go ahead and out myself there real quick.
Speaking of all that, if I can objectify another trans woman for a second, Damage is so fucking hot. I just like all of the promotional stuff that she's been doing for her new EP Eat the Rich is just like photos of her like mostly naked, covered in blood with a giant fucking knife. And if you know anything about me, that is like the hottest possible thing that I can imagine, which is a sexy naked woman covered in blood with a knife. Like, oh my God, it's too much. Like, I can't even really say anything about it because my brain is fucking empty just describing it. So,
I have considered buying 1 or 2 of the posters, honestly.
Honestly, I kind of do. I kind of want to as well, but it's one of those things too where it's like, you know, I think I worry about like the cis gays too much because a lot of my colleagues are cis and I have a lot of cis friends and things like that. Because I would love to like put up that kind of poster on my wall. But then when like my cis friends are going to come over, they're going to be like, why do you have this on your wall? Isn't this a little like, you know, this or that? And then I would just strangle them to death. I understand,
but also fuck that.
Yeah, Damage is hot.
It's absolutely within our right to
objectify other trans women. Yes. If you have one takeaway from this podcast, it's that objectifying other trans women is good. It's always morally correct.
I will fully admit, and I'm not trying to put them on blast here, but there have been numerous times where Neb has just been like, you don't mind if I like objectify you for a minute, do you? And I was like, oh no, please, absolutely, go right ahead. I insist.
Yeah.
In fact, I implore, objectify the fuck out of me.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, you know, my husband or like my girlfriend will be around, and I'm just sitting there like they're talking, they're telling me about something, and I'm just like, I turn around and I just like slowly shake my ass a little bit. I'm just like, I know you're talking, but maybe you can objectify me for a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that moment where I'm just talking and I can just tell the look in the eye is just like, you're not listening to me anymore.
Yeah. Oh, the joys.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, the joys of being a beautiful transsexual woman.
But folks, thank you very much for spending your time with us today. Greatly appreciate it. Another banger.
Another banger.
From She, They, Just Like Me For Real. We're going to pat ourselves on the back here
absolutely.
Second. Yeah. Amazing work. Again, high marks all around. S-tier pod. Tell your friends. They should all be listening to us, in fact.
Yeah. Damage, if you're listening, I'll be at the Denton show October 6th, so hit me up.
I'm so fucking jealous. I really do hope you go, though. I really do hope you go. Yes, absolutely.
At this point, I have to go. I just told her I'd be there, so I can't let my queen down.
Oh God, can you just imagine? She's on stage and she's like in the wings, and she's about to go on, and she's like scanning the audience. Just like, I don't see Siobhan out there. Can you imagine the heartbreak? Oh, you can't let her down.
She would be so torn up that me, a goofy little bunny girl from Twitter, like, didn't go to her show. I'm sure of it.
She stopped the show early. I'm sorry, folks. I can't go on. You understand? I can't bring myself, and the audience is all confused, and then they look you up on Twitter and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I get it.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to stop. I have to go.
All right. Well, thank you very much for spending your time with me, Siobhan, as always. Amazing show. Love spending this time with you and having these conversations and talking about maybe uncomfortable things that people might not necessarily want to listen to, but it's our show, damn it. This is what you come to expect.
Yeah, you're gonna listen to us talk about our sweaty balls, and you're gonna fucking like it, all right?
And clip that. Stay strong, bitches.
Stay strong, bitches.
The theme song for She, They Just Like Me For Real is performed by Stella Dolce. You can follow Stella on TikTok and Instagram, and hear her music across all major streaming platforms.